He was called the Great Communicator. But Ronald Reagan's gift wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. With razor sharp wit, with perfect timing, and with even a twinkle in his eye. Reagan's humor cut right through the noise, and it won over even some of his most difficult critics. Let's take a look at some of those moments that proved that Reagan wasn't just a president, he was a master of the mic.
Now, it's true that Tip and I have had our political disagreements. Sure, I said some things about Tip, and Tip said some things about me, but that's all history. And anyway, you know how it is. I forget. I remember the story of the fella here a while ago who was running for Congress as a Republican. He stopped by a farm to do some campaigning, and when the farmer heard he was a Republican, his jaw dropped, and he said, "Wait right here." He said, "While I get Ma. She's never seen a Republican before." So he got Ma, and the candidate looked around for a podium to give his speech from. The only thing he could find was a pile of that stuff that Bess Truman took 35 years trying to get Harry to call fertilizer. So he got up on the mound, and when they came back, he gave his speech. End of it, the farmer says, "That's the first time I've ever heard a Republican speech." Candidate said, "That's the first time I've ever given a Republican speech from a Democratic platform." There was a fellow that was on his way to a mountain resort, and a policeman stopped him and said, "Did you know that you're driving without taillights?" And the driver hopped out of the car. He was so badly shaken that the officer took pity on him and said, "Well, now, wait a minute, calm down. It's not that serious an infraction." The fellow said, "It may not mean much to you, but to me it means I've lost my trailer, a wife, and 4 kids." And the new year, every year, and a birthday, the 36th anniversary of my 39th birthday, I always think age is relative. There was once a very famous baseball pitcher, Satchel Paige, and no one quite knew how old Satchel was, but he still was throwing that ball. And somebody asked him about that, and his wise answer was, "How old would you be if you didn't know how old you were?" And that's how I came up with 39.
In a world full of political strife and tension, Ronald Reagan reminded us that a little laughter could go a long way. And in fact, even Joe Biden attempted to follow that style, but maybe not quite as well.
And I just want to tell you, I know you're a little younger than I am, but, I've adopted the attitude of the great Negro at the time, pitcher in the Negro Leagues, went on to become a great pitcher in the pros, into the Major League Baseball after Jackie Robinson. His name was Satchel Paige. And Satchel Paige, on his 47th birthday, pitched a win against Chicago. And all the press went in and said, "Satch, it's amazing. 47 years old. No one's ever pitched a win at age 47. How do you feel about being 47? He said, "Boys, that's not how I look at it." I said, "How do you look at it, Satch?" I said, "I look at it this way. How old would you be if you didn't know how old you were? I'm 50 years old, and the ambassador's 47.
Ooh. Reagan's humor wasn't just entertainment. It was true leadership with a light dose of humanity, and Reagan's legacy still echoes even today. Now, if you got value out of this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, I thank you for watching.